All right, everyone. Donald Trump really is knocking it out of the park. We've already got his hiring decisions for the most part. Most of them are pretty good. We've already got the first 100-day agenda, tax relief, securing the border and so forth, and various diplomacy. Those are all good. And now I have a feeling that his second term is going to be much better than his first term, which was already pretty decent. He's now saying that he wants to eliminate daylight savings time. It's good to see a politician finally address the issue, like a mainline politician. It doesn't get talked about enough. For those of us who are on the kind of schedule that I'm on, daylight savings time is a real goddamn fucking hassle. You know, you're trying to schedule an interview or a debate or something like that, and you don't know what fucking time it is. And some of us are a little bit inept when it comes to organization on that level. So Donald Trump addressing the issue is very much close to me in my own personal life. Like you'll remember, a couple of weeks ago, I was supposed to go live with the quartering. Because of daylight savings time, I did not know what time it was. I showed up an hour into the stream thinking that I was showing up 5 minutes early. And so naturally I was only able to go on for about 10 minutes and it was a big problem. And I fucking hate it. Daylight savings time is effectively vestigial. What it originally was meant to do was, back in the day, we're talking long, long ago, most Americans, and I don't know if any other country actually does this at all, to tell the truth, most Americans were farmers or they did like labor, like, you know, brick masonry, carpentry, cutting down trees, stuff like that. And the idea was to boost productivity. But the thing is, most Americans don't do that anymore. Most Americans are on a salaried time schedule and or independently employed. It's no longer necessary to have daylight savings time. It's an example of something that worked at the time, but it no longer really works. It has no purpose, basically. Now, you could maintain daylight savings time and simply freeze the time itself. Or you could simply eliminate it altogether. Either one is perfectly fine. It really makes no difference. The idea was in the colder, darker northern hemisphere, like where I am, you got an extra hour of daylight that you were actually active in. And so you would shop more, you would be more productive, you know, out in your field, out in your woodlot, whatever the hell it happens to be. And that was basically the point. But that's no longer the way that the average person functions. We're in a different, you know, it's a century later. We're in an entirely different time span. Ironically, Trump is being very progressive with this issue. And he happens, by the way, to have the support of the supermajority of the population, including a majority of liberals on the subject. I can't wait to see some left-wing commentator deciding to do a 180 after complaining about daylight savings time probably for a very long period of time, and defiant L's on Twitter. I'm sure there's going to be some interesting posts there. I can't wait to see some crazy liberal deciding that because Donald Trump has decided to get ahead of the train, so to speak, that orange man bad, therefore daylight savings time good. There's nothing good about it. It serves absolutely no purpose whatsoever. It's been vestigial now for literally decades. People have complained about it since, God, the middle of the atomic era. Because the average person is no longer a farmer or a lumberjack or something like that. I mean, that's the yesteryear. That's 100 years ago that you're talking about. There's no reason to possibly maintain it. It's an inconvenience. It's vestigial. Again, I'm not sure that literally any other country in the world has a similar system. So, I mean, doesn't that screw with transportation and things like that? I don't know what time it is. Is my plane an hour ahead or an hour behind? Well, I guess I have to arrive an hour early because I don't know exactly when it's going to lift off. It's fucking retarded, actually, when you think about it, to maintain the system at all. So I congratulate Trump on this. I'm going to read his tweet verbatim, actually. The Republican Party will use its best efforts to eliminate daylight savings time, which has a small but strong constituency, but shouldn't. Daylight savings time is inconvenient and very costly to our nation. Yeah, I mean, it probably costs billions of dollars every single year just maintaining it. So why maintain it? It's completely pointless. It serves no purpose in the modern world. This is not the 1800s. This is not the first half of the 20th century when half of the households in the United States didn't have electrification. There's no reason for it. The time-saving measure that did work now is a detriment in net to the nation. This should be done for all government programs, by the way. We should have the sundown bill. That should be passed. If a law isn't going to be, repassed, let it die. Just get rid of it. That would be great. I would love Donald Trump to address that particular issue. By the way, the other day at the Army-Navy game with J.D. Vance, Elon Musk, and Penny and a few other people, this would be a big win. But one thing I would say, he doesn't need to prioritize this. This is one of those things, it's like Eisenhower's sort of four-square chart. This is something that is not particularly important. So get to it in your own time. The most important things that Trump can do in the first 100 days, pardon the J6ers, pardon Ulbricht because you promised to do so, possibly Snowden, some of these others. I would love it if he pardoned Assange, but I don't expect him to do so. Tax relief, the border, things like that, things that are much more meaningful. This, despite costing our nation billions of dollars per year, is actually a back burner issue. It's a popular one. It's definitely something you should get to, and you should convene a couple of people and have them look into it and say, what's the risk versus reward sort of thing with regards to daylight savings, but it doesn't need to be a massive priority. It's more of a novelty than a priority. It should be gotten to, though. I think it would be very popular. I mean, if daylight savings time ends, I'd be like, thank the Lord. It'd be great. As an independent content creator who has to schedule interviews and things like that and does not have, a competent staffer to do it for them, that would be very helpful to me. So yes, Donald, please get to it. But I think the border and pardoning people and stuff like that should probably come first. Just make sure to get to it at some point. It would be exceptionally popular. Even some liberals would be applauding the idea. That's about all. Peace out.